Welcome back to the channel. We're talking about real estate and why it's so important. The reason why real estate is important because they're not making no more land, and it normally holds and goes up in value. In this video, I'm gonna give you some information and an example how by using real estate you can grow your wealth and change your family's lives. When you're dealing with banks, they want security. Real estate offers a sense of security for the bank. So when you walk in there and you want to go get a loan, say $1 million to start your business, they will gladly and gracefully turn you down. Now, being courteous, they might, recommend or steer you in the direction of getting an SBA loan so they can get paid just in case the business doesn't go right. But solely getting a loan from them and you're trying to build a business, it's not gonna fly. But if I go in there and I show the bank that I own 2 duplexes, they gladly give me a loan against my properties, and me being smart with using debt properly, I can take the 2 assets that I have, go in the bank, ask for a loan. They're gonna look at those assets and gladly grant me a loan. Real estate is secure. Banks know that real estate will likely hold its value. And if you default or don't pay your loan back, the bank know they have the security of taking your property and getting paid by selling your property. So that's why owning an asset like real estate will put you in a position where you'll be able to get loans from banks because they know state is secure. Like I mentioned earlier, banks don't give loans to start business because they can't sell your business if your business fails. But if you don't pay your loan, they can take your property and make a profit by selling your property. A few years ago, I was working with seniors, and I would transport them to different appointments, different places they had to go to. And one lady, Mrs. Johnson, that I would always pick up on Thursdays. And I would have to take Miss Johnson downtown, so the ride was pretty long, fighting through traffic. And normally, I load Miss Johnson on, I say hi, but we didn't speak further than, initial greetings. But it was one particular day we was riding, and I just decided to ask Miss Johnson, how she was doing. And then Mrs. Johnson proceeded to just tell me, things that happened in her life. And one thing that she mentioned was her husband died on a trip to Africa. I think he was a missionary, or he worked in the healthcare field, one of those things. But he was traveling outside the country, and this was in the 70s, Mrs. Johnson mentioned. But he traveled outside the country, and he ended up getting bit by some type of insect that I believe gave him malaria or some type of terminal illness that he never made it back home. But Miss Johnson told me her and her 2 young kids even traveled out there with him, and he got sick and ended up dying, never making it back. So Mrs. Johnson proceeded to tell me that after the insurance, paid her out for her husband's death, she ended up taking that money because she needed somewhere, to live now that a breadwinner was gone. She ended up taking the money and buying a property as an investment. She didn't have no mentor. She didn't have no widespread base of, financial literacy, but she knew that she had to replace her husband's income while also trying to raise 2 young kids. So she decided to go to her local bank and use the income from the insurance to put a down payment on a duplex. And Mrs. Johnson said, starting out, initially it was scary because she never did it before, but she knew she had to feed these 2 young kids, so she gets the duplex. She has tenants in there. They're paying the mortgage down. So she's not only making a profit, but she's also getting the mortgage of her investment paid down by other people. So now she's like hitting them over the head twice. She's making a profit, but also she's paying down the mortgage to an investment property. And she told me within like 6 months, she ended up going back to that same bank. And because she had the first property, they gave her another loan, which she took that money and ended up buying 2 more properties. And the reason they did that because they know real estate is secure. So by her leveraging the asset that she already had, the bank was willing to give her some more money because they knew if she did not pay on that loan that they gave her, they would take her property and then they would sell the property and make a profit. Versus if she went in there and said, let me get $1 million because I want to start this business, you can't sell the business if the business fails. There's no money to be made. And they into making money. So when she told me that, I was just, astonished that she was able to turn tragedy into triumph, because losing her husband, having 2 young kids, instead of buying liabilities that wouldn't bring her no money back, like shoes, cars, clothes, she decided to take the money from his death and put it as a down payment for a property. And then by getting that property, she decided to get some more. But when she went to the bank to get more money, they gladly granted her more money so she can buy the other properties. And throughout the conversation, she told me they end up growing the portfolio, which is her and her kids, to almost 1,000 units. And they had properties out of state. So all started from putting a down payment on this one property. She was able to leverage that one and to grow her wealth. And after she stopped working as a school teacher, she still had income coming in, and her family and her 2 young kids had properties that they could continue to manage and operate after she stopped working, also if she would pass. So the value of it is tremendous, like is unmatched. Yo, they not making no more land, so invest in it. My goal for the channel is to empower those that want to live off the land. So the goal is to get rich and dodge prison, and that's what we on. The only way to be rich is to not work for money. Let me say that again. The only way to be rich is to not work for money. You gotta have money working for you. Stay connected, stay tapped in, and we're gonna continue to talk about more inside tips and strategies that the rich use that they don't teach us in school because it ain't built for us to win. But with information, anybody can apply it and we can change our lives. So let's do what we gotta do. Safe travels. Catch you on traffic.